Hello friends, welcome to SQL Server tutorial, and in this video we will learn repeatable read transaction isolation level. We can read rows and block it from the update till committing the transaction, right? Once a transaction is committed, update will proceed. This repeatable read only blocks the update. Read operation can proceed. So that means in repeatable read, you can see both shared and exclusive lock in action. So both locks is enabled here with a repeatable read transaction isolation level. This means here both shared and exclusive locks are active. As we already know, shared lock allows read, blocks the update. Allows read and blocks the update. Exclusive lock blocks both read and update. Right? Shared lock allows the read but blocks the update. But exclusive lock blocks both read as well as update. So once lock is released, then you can perform read as well as update. So once a lock is released, you can perform read as well as update. So do not get confused with read committed. That's the default, right? Read committed, in which read operation is blocked on update action. Read operation is blocked on update action, right? So that's a read committed. Here in repeatable read also, the read operation is blocked on update action. But in this repeatable read, we can perform more than one read, and while the row is in update, we can see exclusive lock in action. To learn this, we will keep connection 1 in repeatable read mode and connection 2 in default isolation mode. So default isolation means read committed. So one connection in RR mode, repeatable read, and another one is in read committed transaction mode. Now let's go to the demo and see how repeatable read works. Now let's clear out the example from previous videos. Alright, so here if you see in session 1, we are setting the transaction isolation level as a repeatable read. Then within begin and commit transaction, we are making the select statement. So let's execute this. That means here we are selecting all 5 rows and applying the shared lock on all 5 rows, right? We read all 5 rows, but we haven't yet committed, stating that I'm done with the action. So all 5 rows will have a shared lock. Now let's execute these two statements. Select star from student where ID equal to 102. This will be allowed because of repeatable read. We already read once. Here we are reading it one more time, and we are also inserting a record. And if you see, 102 is read from the session, and here we are executing one more insert. Right. Now here we are performing the update. So here we try to update row 101 with a percentage mark 63. This is row 101, right? And we want to update it with a percentage mark of 63. But because of repeatable read transaction isolation, all 5 rows are in shared lock state. Read will be allowed. We already saw that here. Select start from student, and it allows the read because of repeatable read transaction isolation. And when we want to make an update, the update won't proceed here. So let's try. You can see executing the query. Once I make the commit here in session 1, you can see one row affected, right? We will change back the transaction isolation level to read committed on session 1. We will just select it, right? You can see row 101 is updated with 63. Also we have 2 more row here, 105 and 106. We will perform one more test here. The same connection one. This is our test 2. Here if you see, once again we are setting the transaction isolation level as a repeatable read, because previously we set it as a read committed. Within begin and end transaction, this time we are picking only 2 rows, 105 and 106. That means only these 2 rows become shared lock applied rows. Then here in test 2, we have 3 statements. Alright, first we will set the transaction isolation level as a repeatable read. Then we will read 2 rows. I mean, since 105 is duplicate, there are 3 rows here. So all 3 rows are applied with shared lock. Now here we are trying to read student with the ID 102. So I mean student ID more than 102. So that includes 105 and 106. Because of repeatable read, we can read those rows 103, 4, and these locked rows also displayed here. Right. Now here we are updating the student. Update student, set percent mark equal to 65, where ID equal to 101. So this update will proceed because it is not under shared or exclusive lock 101, right? If I execute, you can see 1 row got affected. But the moment you try to update the student with ID 105, it will not get succeed because 105 is under the repeatable read shared lock. So now if I execute it, you will see it's waiting for the share lock to get released. So it is a repeatable read transaction isolation level. Read will be allowed, but update will not. So that's why here update is waiting for it. and 105 and 106 both are in shared lock. 101 is a free row, that's not in shared or exclusive lock. Here 105 is not in exclusive lock, but it's in a shared lock. That's why the update is waiting. Now we will commit the transaction, and you can see 2 rows affected. We will set the transaction to the default one here. So usually when you change the isolation level, it is a good practice to set back the original transaction isolation. The original in the sense the default transaction isolation or original transaction isolation, whatever is set for your script. Okay, since our experiment is completed, we can delete this student table which we created in the very first video. We will also remove the table. That's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.